very warm welcome to our channel APSC Bro. We are going to continue with our Assam history series. Today we are going to do a video on medieval Assam history and specifically on Chutiya and Kachari Kingdom. If you haven't gone through our last video, please go through that. There we have done in detail about the Koch Kingdom. It is a very interesting and detailed video. Please go through that. Today we are going to do two other important kingdoms of Assam history, Chutiya and Kachari Kingdom. Okay, a quick recap. We are doing medieval Assam, Kamata Kingdom, Huya Chieftains, Ahom Kingdom, Chutiya Kingdom, and Kachari Kingdom are the most important kingdoms of this period. We have already done up to Koch Kingdom. Today we'll be doing the Chutiya and the Kachari Kingdom. Because Ahom Kingdom is the biggest and the most important part of Assam history, we'll be doing that in detail in the last part of it. Okay, so today we are going to continue with the Chutiya and Kachari Kingdom. If you have to look at the origin of Chutiya Kingdom, the Chutiya Kingdom originated in the easternmost part of Brahmaputra Valley, that is towards Sadia. If you remember, in our ancient Assam history, we have mentioned few ancient cities in that area, kingdoms in that area, like Vidarbha, Bhismaknagar, and other cities. So if you haven't gone through that, please go through our ancient Assam history video. So there was always a kingdom in that part. But regarding the Chutiya Kingdom, which generally came to be known as the Chutiya Kingdom, its origin was around late 14th century. But it didn't last very long. It was quickly annexed to Ahom Kingdom in 1523. Okay. Chutiya Kingdom extended up to Lakhimpur, Dhemaji, Tinsukia, parts of Dibrugarh and Arunachal foothills. It is said towards the northern part bank of Brahmaputra, the Chutiya Kingdom extended up to the present-day Bishwanath Charli. Okay, so it was quite an important and big kingdom at that time. The importance of Chutiya Kingdom rose because it was at a time when other few important kingdoms rose in Assam. It was contemporary to Ahom Kingdom, Kachari Kingdom, and Koch Kingdom. So its importance in Assam history is immense. Okay, there are three capitals of Chutiya Kingdom. First is Swarnagiri, it is near Hodia. Second is Ratnapur, it is in present-day Majuli, and the last is Sandhyapuri, again near Hodia. Okay, so this is important from exam point of view. How many capitals are there in Chutiya Kingdom? There were three capitals. The first was Swarnagiri, second was Ratnapur, third was, and the last was Sandhyapuri, that is Hodia. The first ruler was Birpal, that is 1187. So who founded Chutiya Kingdom? It was founded by Birpal. When did he find it? He found it in 1187. Who was the last ruler of Chutiya Kingdom? He was Nitipal. This is the emblem of Chutiya Kingdom. It has a sword, it has seal, and it has a cat. Why this emblem was adopted, we will be learning now. Okay. So Birpal, whom we have said who established Chutiya Kingdom, was actually not a king at that time. Actually, at that time, in the initial time, there was no Chutiya Kingdom. A few Chutiya families resided in the Arunachal foothills, which is the Swarnagiri hill. Okay, and Birpal was a chieftain. But what happened was that he got hold of a treasure. Now, the treasure included a lot of money, and then also included a sword, a shield, a spear, and a golden cat. Now, when he got hold of this treasure, he gained prominence. With the help of it, he started expanding his dominance over the area. And slowly and steadily, the Chutiya dynasty came into being. So, this treasure was very important in the formation of the Chutiya Kingdom. Okay, that is why the sword, the seal, and the golden cat, because of his importance in the formation of the Chutiya Kingdom, and it is said that it is God gifted, so it was taken as the emblem of Chutiya Kingdom. Okay, now at that time the kingdom was not yet initiated, but his son, Birpal's son Gauri Narayan, he was the first who marched into Brahmaputra Valley. See, Swarnagiri hill was in the Arunachal foothill. Yes, just in the Arunachal Assam border present day. Okay, then he marched, Gauri Narayan marched into Brahmaputra Valley and defeated a king named Bhadrasen. Okay, and Gauri Narayan, he established a new capital in Ratnapur in 1223 AD. Okay, and he took the name Ratnadhwaspal. He was the first king of Chutiya Kingdom. He is assumed to be the first king of Chutiya Kingdom. Ratnadhwaspal was the most important and prolific king of Chutiya Kingdom who expanded the kingdom. Okay, so a lot of questions can be asked from here. What was the first capital of Chutiya Kingdom? It was Swarnagiri. What was the second capital? It was Ratnapur, which is present day Majuli. When was Ratnapur established? It was 1223. Who established Ratnapur? Ratnadhwaspal. What was the original name of Ratnadhwaspal? It was Gauri Narayan. Okay, Gauri Narayan's son they had friendly relationship with the kingdom of Goreshwar. Okay, so he sent his son to Goreshwar for education, but unfortunately the son died. Okay, at the same time, Ratnadhwaspal was in Hindhu Khetra for establishing a new city. At the same time, he got the news, he received the dead body, and he cremated his son at that very place, Hindhu Khetra. And so the name place then came to be known as Hodia. Hodia, Ho is dead body, and Dia means cremation. So that place, present day Hodia, is actually originally Hindhu Khetra. So there was two questions. First, there was a question where it was asked, what was the original name of Hodia? It was Hindhu Khetra. Secondly, it was asked, which present day place is named after after the cremation of a prince of a ancient Assam kingdom. So it was Hodia. Okay, who was the son? He was the son of Ratnadhwaspal. So there were many other kings after Ratnadhwaspal who didn't have much of an impact in Assam history. But then there was a king called Dharmadhwaspal, and his daughter was Hadhani. She was one of the most important figures of Assam history. Okay, she was very beautiful and talented, and because of her beauty and talent, it was very difficult for her father Dharmadhwaspal to find a groom for her. So ইয়াত এটা সৰু কাহিনী আছে কি ধৰ্মধ্বজপাল সদায় চিন্তিত আছিলে কি মোৰ কন্যাগৰাকীক মই বিয়া দিবলৈ উপযুক্ত পাত্ৰ বিচাৰি পোৱা নাই এনেকুৱা। তো তেওঁ এদিনাখন সেইবিলাক চিন্তা ভাৱনাতে গৈ পেলাই আমাৰ শদিয়া পালেগৈ। শদিয়া য'ত সেই কোঁৱৰজনক হেৰি কৰা হৈছিলে, শদিয়া হৈছিলে, তাতে তেওঁ বহি পেলাই চিন্তা কৰি আছিল। তেনেকুৱাতে তেওঁ দেখিলে যে তাত এটা কেৰ্কেটুৱা ঘূৰি ফুৰিছে, আৰু কেৰ্কেটুৱাটো তেওঁ মানুহ লগাই ধৰাব মেলিব চেষ্টা কৰিলে কিন্তু নোৱাৰিলে। তেতিয়া তেওঁ মনত এটা স্বয়ম্বৰৰ কথা আহিলে মনলৈ। তেওঁ ভাবিলে কি মই এটা মানে মুকলি প্ৰতিযোগিতা পাতোঁ, যোনে এই কেৰ্কেটুৱাটো এডাল শৰে পিন্ধিব পাৰিব তেওঁকে মোৰ ছোৱালীগৰাকীক বিয়া দিম। তেনেকৈ কথামতে কাম হ'ল, কম্পিটিশ্যন হ'ল, প্ৰতিযোগিতা আৰম্ভ হ'ল। তো কিন্তু যোনবিলাক ৰাজ পৰিয়ালৰ মানুহ তেওঁলোকে কোনো সেইটো কৰিব নোৱাৰিলে। এজন সাধাৰণ ল'ৰা যাৰ নাম আছিলে নিতাই, তেওঁ সেই কামটো কৰিব পাৰিলে। তেওঁ এপাত শৰেদি সেই কেৰ্কেটুৱাটো বধ কৰিলে। Okay, now the king was bound by his word. So what happened? He gave his daughter to Nitai. So Nitai assumed now the crown of Chutiya kingdom, and he came to be known as Nitipal. Now Nitai was a simple person. He didn't know the how to rule a state and other things. So what happened? There were a lot of confusion in the state. Nitipal gave a lot of important positions to his childhood friends who were not good in administration and other things. So slowly the Chutiya kingdom started to crumble. And at that time Swargadev was Suhungmung. Okay, he came to know of this, so he attacked Chutiya kingdom in 1523 AD, and he killed Nitipal and subsumed the Chutiya kingdom into Ahom kingdom. In order to look after the Chutiya kingdom, he established a new post, which is Hodia Khwa Gohai. Okay, so which Ahom Swargadev established the new post Hodia Khwa Gohai? It was Swargadev Suhungmung. To look after which territory? To look after the territory occupied by Ahoms after defeating Chutiya kingdom. Okay, first Hodia Khwa Gohai was Frasengmung. Frasengmung's wife name was Mulagavaru. She was also a great warrior and a great figure in Assam history. We will learn about her in the Ahom history. Okay. So after the death of Nitipal, Konseng Barpatra Gohai, she asked Hadhani to surrender. But Hadhani was very loyal and very strong and brave. Okay, she didn't want the Ahoms to get hold of her as well as the royal treasure, because they assumed this treasure was God gifted to her family and to her kingdom, right? So she wanted to protect that from the Ahoms. So what she did, she took the ancestral treasure and gave her life jumping from Sondangiri hill. Okay, and thus she ended her life. So this was a great story in one of the most prominent stories of Assam history. Even today we celebrate Hoti Hadhani Dibo. Yes, go and learn when do we celebrate Hoti Hadhani Dibo. Okay, this is your homework. So thus we have learned about the Chutiya kingdom, though it was for a short period of time, but it was at a time when there was lot other kingdoms which were rising in power in Assam. So its importance and prominence in Assam is very important. It had regular conflicts with the Ahom kingdom, which we'll learn in the future videos that we do on Assam history. But its importance is nevertheless. There may be many questions we have already discussed in this video. Further MCQs that can be asked in about Chutiya Kingdom will be doing in future videos. Okay. The next most important kingdom of Assam is Kachari Kingdom. Now this is also one of the most important kingdom in the sense that it also rose in the same time, at the same 13th century, when Ahoms and the Chutiyas were trying to gain prominence in the Brahmaputra valley, and they shared the same area, the eastern part of Assam towards the southern bank of Brahmaputra. So the Ahoms and the Kacharis were always in a battle. The river Dhansiri was a border of the two kingdoms for a long time, and there were multiple battles in that front. Okay, we will be learning about the Ahom Kachari conflict separately in one video, because it is a very interesting part and is very important also. Now, it was the origin of Kachari kingdom was the 13th century. Okay, it was annexed to the British Empire in 1832. So Kachari kingdom was also one of the most long-lasting kingdoms of Assam as well as India. Now the problem was that the Ahoms were able to keep their history in the form of the Ahom Buronjis. Yes, but the Kacharis didn't have that habit of writing down their history or their lineage and other things. That's why a lot of history is lost in the time of, in the sense of time. Okay, that's why we don't get much of information of the about the Kachari kingdom, but nevertheless it was a very important kingdom and it ruled certain parts of Assam for a long time. It was only in 1832 that it was finally annexed to the British Empire. It had also three capitals. Like the Chutiya kingdom had three capitals, Kachari kingdom also had three capitals. First was Dimapur, second was Maibong, and third was Khaspur. Khaspur is present day Silchar. Actually, initially, before the rise of Ahoms, the Kachari kingdoms ruled, it was said that it ruled as far as near Namrup. Okay, but later it was held back by the Ahom kingdom. It was sent from Dimapur to Maibong, finally to Silchar. So we'll learn that. Kachari group, it is the Bhumiputras of Assam Valley, and it has similarities with many other groups which were residing there. It has similarity with the Moran and the Dimasa language, the language that the original Kachari people use. From the various ancient monuments, we can see that there was a similarity between the Moran and Dimasa language. The tradition of worshipping Kesai Khati goddess, it is one of the prominent goddess worshipped by the Sutiya people. It is also common to the Ravas, the Moran, the Tivas, the Kus, and the Sutiyas. Okay, and the Kasari, original Kasari people also used to worship her. So it also showed them that they all belonged. Somehow they had relationship between them. Okay, so the first stage of Kasari kingdom was Dimapur. It is assumed by the 13th century that the Dimasa kingdom extended along the southern banks of Brahmaputra river from Dikho river to Kolong river and included the valley of Dhansiri and present-day Dima Hasao district. So initially it was a very big kingdom. Okay, but now because at the same time Ahom was gaining power, so the Ahoms, in order to gain power and territory, it had to be in the expense of Kasari kingdom. So the conflict between the two kingdoms was imminent. The first Ahom attack happened in Kasari kingdom in 1490, large scale attack. At that time, who was the king? Suhungmung. Okay, and the Kasari king was Datsung. So after that war, they have to abandon Dimapur in 1536. So there might be a question: when did Ahom occupy Dimapur? It was 1536. Who was the king? Suhungmung. Who was the Kasari king at that time? It was Datsung. After capturing Dimapur, Suhungmung created a new post. Like after defeating Sutiya, he created a new post. What was the post name? Khodiakhua Gohai. Now after defeating the Kasaris in Dimapur, he created another post. Very important. It is Morongi Khua Guhai. Okay. These two posts are very important. Khodiakhua Gohai after defeating the Sutiyas, Morongi Khua Guhai after defeating the Kasaris in Dimapur. Okay. These are certain ancient monuments which of the Kasari kingdom remnants which are still found near Dimapur. Okay. Second stage, after defeating Dimapur, the Kasari kingdom had to shift to Maibong. Okay, now they have to fall back and they have to shift to Maibong. Maibong is in now present day Dima Hasao district. Mai is paddy, Bong means abundance. So that place had abundance of paddy fields. So the Kasari kings realized that this place is very good for establishing a new capital, because there is abundance of food here. We can grow paddy here. Plus, it was hilly, so it acted as a natural fort against the Ahoms. They could do guerrilla war. The Kasaris were very expert in guerrilla war. Okay. At Maibong, they first came under the Brahmin influence, so they started taking Hindu names. Okay. They were linked to Ghatotkacha, the son of Bhima and Hidimbi. Okay. Now, at Maibong, the Kachari kingdom was made tributary to Koch in 1564. While doing the video on Koch dynasty, Koch kingdom, we have learned that Silarai, after defeating the Ahoms, whom did he defeat? Ahom king Khora Raja. Yes, for which the Khora Raja had to flee to Sarai Khurung in Namrup. Yes, after defeating the Ahoms, he came back. He defeated the Kasaris. It was in 1564. Yes, so the Kachari kingdom was made a tributary to Koch in 1564. Okay, there was no fight, and the Kachari king surrendered to the Koch kingdom. Now, there was one important ruler of the Kachari kingdom. He was Shotrudaman. He was a very strong ruler. After the death of Naranarayan and the downfall of Koch kingdom, the Kachari kingdom again became independent. It was a tributary to Koch in 1564, but later it again became independent. Shotrudaman was a very strong ruler of Kachari kingdom. He annexed the Jaintia kingdom to the Kachari kingdom. Okay, Jaintia kingdom also shared boundaries with the Kachari kingdom, and they were also always under fights between the two. There were battles between the two for annexation of territories. So Jaintia kingdom was annexed into Kachari kingdom under the rule of Shotrudaman. This is important. Now, what happened at that time when the Ahoms were busy and other things were happening? The Jaintia kingdom, Jaintia king, he tried to make friendly relationship with Ahom in order to subdue the Kasaris. Because Jaintia kingdom was annexed to Kachari kingdom, now what happened? The Jaintia king thought of making friendly relationship with Ahom so that he can fight back the Kasaris. So there was a battle between the two parties now, the Ahoms and the Kasaris again. It was in 1630 and it was known as the Roha battle. Now this is important because at this battle, when it happened for the second time, Shotrudaman was able to fight back the Ahoms. Okay, and he was very happy with it. So he assumed the name Pratapdaman, because at that time, who was the Ahom ruler? Susengfa, Pratapsingha. Because he was able to defeat him, Shotrudaman took the name Pratapdaman in order to prove his strength. Okay, and he renamed Maibong as Kirtipur. Okay, so these are very important information. Make a note of it. Okay, so this after that again few Kachari kings came, but nothing important happened. But again, what happened was that once Rudrasingha was the ruler of Ahom ruler, he again tried to annex the Kachari kingdoms. He sent huge forces to subdue the Kacharis. For this, Rudrasingha made his base in Bishanath Charili, present day Bishanath Charili. Okay, so that he could get easy access to the Kachari and the Jaintia kingdoms. He made a huge army in order to defeat the Kacharis. He sent his Borborua, his Borfukons, and a huge army to defeat the Kachari kingdom. At that time, the Jaintia king, what he thought was that he came to the Kachari king and said that let us combine our forces and fight Rudrasingha. Now Rudrasingha came to know of it, and they defeated, the Ahoms defeated the Kachari army. Okay, and finally both the Jaintia and the Kachari king, they were called to Bishanath, where Rudrasingha was staying. Okay, and both the Kachari and the Jaintia kingdoms were then annexed to Ahom kingdom in 1708 under the reign of Rudrasingha. Who was the Kachari kingdom king at that time? He was Tamradhvas. Okay, now these are certain pictures of the remains in the Maibong area. Okay, we know this monolithic houses is a very famous ancient sculptures or monuments from the Kachari kingdom. It is in the second capital, that is Maibong area. Okay, now we know Khaspur. Khaspur we have learned, where we have learned Khaspur before. We have learned Khaspur in while doing the videos on Koch dynasty. Naranayan established Guhai Kamal. Guhai Kamal, you remember, he was brother of Naranayan. He established Guhai Kamal to look after Khaspur. Yes, after Guhai Kamal, his son looked after Khaspur. So there was a Kush rule over Khaspur. But what happened around 18th century, Bhima Singha, the last Kush ruler of Khaspur, didn't have any male hair. So he had a daughter Kasani, and he was, because they didn't have any male heir, he gave his daughter Kasani to Lakshmi Chandra, a Dimasa prince, and thus the Khaspur Kush rule of Khaspur came under the Kachari kingdom. Okay, thus the Khaspur Kush rulers ended in 1745, and it was merged with Kachari kingdom. It was not through warfare; it was through marriage. Okay. Finally, the last Kachari ruler was Govinda Chandra. There may be a question, who's the last Kachari ruler? Okay, he was Govinda Chandra. Now, during the rule of Govinda Chandra, they had a lot of problems. Okay, the Manipuri kings started attacking them. The Jaintia king started attacking them. The Burmese king also was attempting to take over the Kachari king. So at that time, the Govinda Chandra was under a lot of threats. Okay, but finally his rule was restored by the British after the Yangdabo Treaty. Yangdabo Treaty was between the British and the Burmese. At that time, Burmese army was attacking Assam, the Ahom rule, and was establishing their rule over the Brahmaputra Valley. And even Govinda Chandra's rule was under threat. Okay, it was British through Yangdabo Treaty. He restored Govinda Chandra's rule. Okay, in 1830, Govinda Chandra died. At the same time, there was a Henapati who is known as Tularam Henapati. Now, Tularam Henapati was trying to gain his prominence as an independent ruler in those areas. Yes, in the Dima Hasao district. He was also creating problems for the British rule there. So initially he was given some land to rule over, but finally he was given the Jamidari rule power over some land by the British. Okay, but finally in 1832 the Tularam Senapati was pensioned off, and his area was annexed by the British to ultimately become the North Kachar district. Yes. In 1833, Govinda Chandra's domain was also annexed to become the Kachar district. So finally, the entire Kachari kingdom, the territory under Kachari kingdom, was annexed to the British kingdom. There might be a question about Tularam Senapati regarding his revolt against the British. He tried to gain prominence as an independent ruler there. So these might be the questions from the later stage of Kachari kingdom. So we have done our Kachari kingdom. The conflicts of Kachari kingdom with the Ahoms and the Jaintias are important. We'll be doing that when we'll be doing regarding the conflicts between the various kingdoms in our later videos. We have left it to the last because once we do the Ahom kingdom in a video, you can relate all the kingdoms. You can relate who was the ruler at which time, how they conflicted, which were the point of conflicts. So it will be easier for you to understand the whole picture. Okay. So we'll be doing MCQs regarding Kachari kingdom also. Please keep following. Like and subscribe our channel. Support us. Help us to create more beautiful videos for you so that it can be helpful for you in your preparation as well as knowing your own land better. Thank you so much. Keep following.